Research is proving that if you truly wish to change your life, then you have to change your thought patterns or how you think. And so in the last 4 years, I've actually sought to do one thing, and that is to build a company that would actually help me to diversify my income streams. But when I started off earlier, I actually got to a point where there were so many failures that I convinced myself beyond reasonable doubt that entrepreneurship was not going to make me rich. And so I nearly threw in the towel. And then luckily, I chanced upon a concept, that is the concept of neuroplasticity, that was introduced by Stanford University in a research. And it says that the brain actually forms some level of bias, or it actually develops some level of neural pathways towards thought patterns that consistently get repeated in the brain. And so for instance, if you set out to actually build and amass wealth, and you consistently think about how it is very difficult for you to actually find the right connections, or you don't actually have the right skills or the abilities to steer yourself towards the attainment of those goals, the brain actually forms some level of bias in that it prevents you altogether, and it blocks your actions in the physical world, and then subsequently pushes you several miles away from the attainment and the pursuit of that goal. And so in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 7 ways that you can actually change your life, attain any goal that you set for yourself, and then probably steer yourself towards the attainment of any single goal that you set for yourself to attain in life. And so if you're new here, my name is Nana. I hold a master's degree in business finance, and on this channel, we discuss everything personal finance and personal development. And so without further ado, we come to the first thing that you need to do in order to change your life by changing your thought patterns, and that is to identify and then challenge the negative thought patterns in your mind. And that is one of the most difficult things that you can ever do, because now it is you against you. And this is how Napoleon Hill actually recommends that you do this. He actually suggests that the brain is made up of 2 parts. That is, 1, the conscious part, and the subconscious part. The subconscious part is the part of the brain that is responsible for the past, in that it stores memories and then actually safeguards every other emotion that we go through life. And so anytime that anything like failure actually pops up, the first thing that the brain actually does, that is the subconscious part of the brain, is to actually go into the defensive mode. So for instance, in my case, because I was seeing series of several failures along the way, the brain actually formed several evidences, giving me several thought patterns as to why I have to throw in the towel. However, if you truly wish to actually attain whatever goal, you need to know that consistency is key. So you've got to consistently feed your mind, that is a conscious part of the brain, in order to form several other reasons, or give the brain more than practical ways and means why you've got to actually pursue and then subsequently attain that goal. And that actually happens if only you subject yourself to education and consistently, consciously feed your subconscious mind and your conscious mind of positive things and several reasons why you don't have to give up along the way. This brings us to the second way that you can actually change your life by changing your thoughts, and that is to be grateful for the little things in life. So one of the key things that people do is that they actually focus on the things that they don't have, and so as a result of that, they end up stressed or anxious. In life, if you truly wish to become successful, there's one thing that you need to do according to the University of California, Davis, and that is to find several little things in life on a daily to be grateful for. So it can be your friends, it can be your family, it can be the school, it can be the opportunity, or even life, or having to wake up. These little things that you appreciate on a daily can help you to form several other ways, and then also inform your mind and then rewire it subsequently to actually appreciate the positives, and then build on that to build the confidence and the motivation that will be required for you to pursue your goals and then subsequently attain it all together. And so the easiest thing that you can do is to wake up every day and to be grateful for the opportunities that you've had, and to also remain propitious about the future, in that you don't have to worry about the negatives, only focus on the positives, and then thank yourself for every single step that you've actually taken without having to give up. This brings us to the third point, and that is to reframe failure as a learning opportunity. So one of the key things that you need to know in life is that failure is not the end or the opposite of success. However, it is a composite of success. Like I always say, anytime that you fail, try and then sit back and then ask yourself, what is the one thing that I've learned as a result of this failure? The failure is actually here as a form of feedback, in that it is preparing you and helping you to develop the requisite skills and the abilities to actually tackle several other problems down the line. And so anytime that you view failure as a mere opportunity for you to try something new, or a feedback on any inputs that you made, it actually rewires your brain and grants you the ability to pursue and then subsequently attain whatever goal that you want to achieve in life. This brings us to the fourth point, and that is to practice positive self-talk. Like I've stated earlier, if you really want to become successful in life, there's one thing that you need to master, and that is the power of auto-suggestion. So you've got to be that one voice in your head telling yourself and then consistently convincing yourself beyond reasonable doubt that come what may, irrespective of whatever the challenges would actually be in life, you're actually going to stay consistent and loyal to your goals. And that is one of the easiest ways, yet the most difficult, for you to actually challenge yourself to pursue your goals and to become successful in life. All the people that you see up there, the top 1%, have gone through these stages, and they've actually gone on. Sometimes you can actually hear them in their interviews telling you that you've got to be obsessed with the process, but more importantly, the goal as well, in that everyone actually wants to get there, but only a few people can actually get there. According to research, only 8% of people who set goals eventually see the realization of that goal. And so if you wish to actually join that 8% and not join the 92% of people who fail, then you need to actually be that voice in your head, convincing yourself and then consistently motivating yourself internally to attain your goals altogether. This brings us to the fifth way that you can actually change your life by changing your thought pattern, and that is to focus on what you can control. So more often than not, especially when it comes to goal setting, we actually set goals that are without or outside our scope of competence or our abilities altogether, or those goals are actually beyond reach when it comes to the resources that we have at our disposal to pursue and then attain those goals. And so anytime that you think for yourself about setting goals and then pursuing those goals, think about one thing and then ask yourself the simple question: what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? If you're able to define and identify these two things, then it will help you to set goals that are not actually beyond reach, in that it would actually help you to actually master one thing, and that is a Goldilocks rule. So you wouldn't set a goal that is actually far beyond reach or a goal that is actually way below your abilities. And so you just set a goal that will push you a simple step out of your comfort zone, and that is the point or the zone that you really want to be. And so if you truly wish to become successful, then you need to actually set goals or things, or focus on things that are within your area of competence or things that you have direct control over. And that would actually reduce the stress or the boredom that actually comes as a result of you having to stress to reach goals that are outside your scope of competence. This brings us to the sixth way that you can actually change your life by changing your mindset, and that is to resort to the growth mindset as opposed to the fixed mindset. So people with a growth mindset actually tell themselves one thing, that even though I don't have the requisite skills or the ability to get things done, I'll start and then perfect it as time goes on. So one of the key things that you need to know is that imposter syndrome is bound to face you at any given point in time in life, especially when you set goals. For example, at the beginning of this year, I actually had the goal of actually starting this YouTube channel. And so in January, I couldn't shoot any video at all. And that was simply because of imposter syndrome. I was telling myself that I didn't know how to shoot videos. I didn't know how to talk in front of a camera. I didn't know anything about video editing, about, writing thumbnails or titles, or even editing my video in full or whatever. I didn't have any idea whatsoever what YouTube was all about. But over time, my wife actually sat me down. We had a conversation, and I actually gathered the courage finally to start and then perfect things as time goes on. This is my 93rd video that I'm actually shooting, editing, and posting on YouTube this year. If you're to compare this 93rd video to the first video that I posted on the 1st of February this year, 2025, there's a massive difference. And that tells you that with time, if you have the growth mindset, everything is possible to you, in that you'll be able to convince yourself to start, but more importantly, perfect as time goes on. This brings us to the seventh and the last way that you can actually change your life by changing your mindset, and that is to be present through mindfulness. So one of the key things that the ultra-rich do is that they tend to actually worry less about the future, and they do not actually dwell so much on the past. And that is one of the powers that they actually deploy in order to set goals and then subsequently attain those goals. Because anytime that you set goals and then you're actually held back by imposter syndrome, that is the fear of you actually failing or things actually going wayward down the line, it actually stops you from even going into the execution mode altogether. And that is one of the surest ways for you to fail in life when it comes to setting goals and the subsequent attainment of same. And so the best thing that you can do is to dwell on the present, try as much as possible, and then make marginal contributions and make marginal progress over time. And that is one of the surest ways, because simply over time, all these marginal contributions and the contributions that you're making over time would compound, and that would actually realize whatever goal that you set for yourself to attain in life. And so if you found value in this video, kindly smash the like button. It really helps with the algorithm. And then consider subscribing, because I'll be shooting several videos down the line on personal finance and personal development. So thank you for spending time with us, and see you in the next video.